Good evening, watchlings and gremlins, hauntings and omens. I am up way too late working on creating visualizations for story ideas. There's all the previous stuff that I did, but then there's like two things I got done tonight that I think provide a bit more dynamic detail. Because by the time the antagonist gets to this point, the fictional dork is in danger again. Got a pretty good idea of where all the characters' paths and dynamics are. And then there's this, where in me fighting the fucking personification of dumb ideas, bad decisions, and ultimately, destructive selfishness. The fictional dork gets a chance at being able to fucking escape if they're just willing to wait for the right moment. And after they've fucking started trying to escape, I'm going to beat this motherfucker to within an inch of her stupid life. But between all of their dumb decisions and everything, they're gonna pull out this piece of shit spell on my fictional self. That basically exposes every single desire and or delusion that my fictional self holds towards the fictional dork. And there will be whole entire scenes of me just killing each and every one while arguing against this fucking annoyance. The one that fucking caused. It's a personification of people's flaws, my own included. And then, regardless of if the fictional dork has decided to help or not, I overcome my limitations, my own insecurities and otherwise, and start beating the shit out of this fucking idiotic, reckless, impulsive child. Overgrown. Sanity lost. And the only thing that changes based on the Denstork's decision isn't whether or not I get to this point, but whether or not they help me take this fucking annoyance down. The fictional dork, I should say. I don't know what the Denstork would do. That's the reason why it would probably be left ambiguous, up in the air. Because the antagonist at this point is a personification of every bad idea, every bad impulse, selfish desire, controlling, possessive, or obsessive quality taken to an unhealthy extreme. And they will serve as a foil to my fictional self who's like, yeah, I do like that person a whole bunch, can't get them out of my head, but they deserve to live their own life. And what better way to make someone your own than to authentically steal their heart by respecting them and getting to know them as a person instead of trying to wield power, authority, fear, or otherwise against them. Because, like, I'm sorry, but something just does not add up with that logic there. You think you can trap someone into loving you? Are you stupid? Are you actually fucking stupid? If you manage to authentically steal, win over their heart, or whatnot, they are yours. If you don't, then they will never be yours. And that's okay. The point isn't to actually win their heart. The point is to accept oneself so that way toxic shame does not manipulate perspective, desires, and hopes to turn the potential of myself into a destructive force that fails to recognize others as worth caring about. Oh yeah, there's no one weaker than people who fucking try to force others to love them instead of respecting them as people. Respecting other. There's no one weaker than people. I don't know how to phrase it currently, but that's basically the idea. And sure, it's not an argument, but it's not meant to be. I'm not doing this to convince anyone, ironically enough. I'm doing this for myself. To double check all of my choices to make sure that I didn't overlook something. And to understand truly why I chose to put in that effort, even if the outcome wasn't going to go as I wanted. Because that dumb stork will never love me, not in the way I like them. And that's okay. They don't need to. Because the thing I loved, I don't think was the full depth of them, but rather what I knew of them piled with my own predictions and ideals piled on top. What hurts isn't the fact that they don't like me. What hurts is that I thought my love the love I wanted to give wouldn't be accepted or appreciated, and so I tried my best to preemptively shut that down and move on as quickly as possible. I don't miss the dork so much as I miss the feelings that I wanted to convey to the dork. Isn't that weird? But it does fit with my understanding of how I don't know them. How I thought there was potential for something. And yet I can also recognize that they're not interested in me. Not in that way. And if they're not going to enjoy my company, then if they don't enjoy my company, my attempts to understand, to learn, to banter or otherwise, then my own desires don't matter. Because they're not enjoying interacting with me. And what would be the point of interacting with someone? Of trying to make someone who's scared of you? I don't get it. I don't fucking get it. I don't understand it. And I don't have to understand it. Because it doesn't have to make sense. Just gotta accept reality and move on.